Good morning, good evening, everyone. That's super excited for you to be here again. Rob Petrosino. I am a emerging tech leader, futurist, guy who is constantly pushing the edges of organizations to adopt emerging technologies. This is the Synth Reality Podcast. I am super happy that you are here. What we're looking at today is a little bit more on spatial computing. We're going to review what went over on the last live quickly, and then we're going to dive into two really great examples. If you're on LinkedIn and you are struggling with the stream, pop over to the profile, head over to Twitch. It is live and in techno color over there, so I promise it looks good. It's got great, excellent. But we're going to keep you on LinkedIn for as long as possible. If you want to chat, drop something in the comments. I got you up on YouTube, I got you over on Twitch, and I got you on LinkedIn. Comment away and tell me what you think about spatial computing. So, with that, we're going to transition into the screen share. So, spatial computing, right? The process and tools used to capture data and interact with it. Okay, so 3D data, interacting with it, making sure that it's interesting and important and relevant and interactable. We talked about a little bit last time about what the spectrum looks like. There is augmented reality, which is a focus on the physical world as your backdrop and overlaying digital information over the top of it. And then virtual reality, which is completely losing the real world around you and moving directly into a digital space. Okay, so that's the big difference when we look at the spatial computing spectrum. We're going to hone in a little bit on the AR side, but before we do that, let's run through head-mounted displays. Head-mounted displays, that is something that I put on my face and is from some of the largest players. We've seen Meta launch their Meta Quest Pro 2. We've seen Magical launch their second generation of headset. Pico and HTC have launched head-mounted displays. We're going to talk about two different ones today that are not there. Head-mounted displays have a ton of sensors: hand tracking, eye tracking, facial recognition tracking, depending on which ones you are looking at. And the one thing to think about is, can I see the world around me? So to know if a head-mounted display is more AR versus VR, if I can see the real world around me, it is more towards the AR side. If I cannot see the real world around me, it is more towards the VR side. So good things to kind of think about and keep in mind. There is rule breakers there. Something like this center point headset, which is called the Vario XR3, as well as the MetaQuest Pro 2. They have a thing called pass-through AR. What that means is, when I put this on my face and I look through it, I see a screen, and that screen can render a virtual world, or it can render a 4K version of the world through the lenses that are on the outside, through those cameras, and then display it on the screen. They both have a degree of latency, right? The Vario headset plugs into a larger computer, so it has a little bit less latency, a little bit more power, a little bit clearer resolution than the MetaQuest Pro 2 to the right of it. And that is just a head-mounted unit, so it doesn't plug into anything, it just sits on your head. So a little bit higher latency, a little bit less clear than what you would see from something like the Vario, and then completely more clear than the Oculus headset of past. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when it comes to headset. But we're gonna dive into the AR side. Okay, specifically on augmented reality. I wanted to pull up a couple different examples. Everyone is very used to the examples on the right hand side here. Pokemon Go was one of the first applications that ever came out and really changed the game on how people thought through AR. How can they interact with it, right? You can throw Pokeballs at these imaginary characters in the real world around you using the camera on the phone. This is one of those first introductions to AR experiences. Now we've moved on to what you see in the lower right. Google Maps actually has a tilt up feature, so when I tilt up my phone, I'm actually able to see directions on the real world around me. Super cool, super interesting, great use case for AR and its application in the real world. Okay, let's fast forward and talk about this large image on the left hand side and what this person's holding. So there's a company out there called Mojo Vision, Mojo Vision. Their website, mojo.vision. no.com, just mojo.vision. What they've created is a ocular device, contact lens, that you place on your eye, and it renders what we would call a heads-up display, or a HUD, that can have everything from directions to restaurant reviews, etc. This is live in production. It is out in the market and being used, so I can drop this contact lens into my eye, and I can wear unfortunately a larger necklace around my neck, and through that necklace and no other connection, it is powered and it is rendering visuals on my eye so that I can see it. This has been tested by the CEO as well as some others. It has also got investment and startup through Disney. They have a version where you actually don't have to put it in your eye, but you can kind of hold it up to your eye and see what that looks like. So this is using ultra wideband and Bluetooth and some other technology to render a heads-up display. Now this is really, really dynamic, right? This is future technology. And its implementation in the real world. So really exciting when it comes to the potential there. They've got a couple different videos online, but the world of having to have a device connected to your hand is slowly being moved away, right? If we look at the previous slide with our headsets, and now we look at this future technology when it comes to a contact lens, it's really moving in a new direction that's super exciting. The next one that I want to talk about is on the lower end side. We hit this last time. It's called the Nreal Air glasses. Nreal Air is a fantastic company and is really, really interesting for the fact that they can blend or teeter on this AR and VR side, but also have a really interesting integration with a car company called Neo. So Nreal glasses, I put those on my head, right, and then I have a cord that runs from them, the USB-C cord. That USB-C cord can plug in directly to an iPad or through a dongle into an iPhone or an Android device and render a 100-inch screen in front of my field of view. Super interesting. When it's 100 feet, right, I have a replication of my current desktop in this massive setting. So the application in travel makes a lot of sense. I can have this device plug into my phone while I'm on a flight and watch this experience and watch it instead of watching it on my very tiny phone. I watch it on a much larger screen. Super cool, really, really interesting. But what's also nice is that I can add a cover that's plastic that clips onto the outside of the lenses. So traditionally the lenses are clear. You can see them in the lower right hand corner here, in the upper right hand corner, right down here and right up here. Those lenses are clear, so I can see through them just like you can see in this image. I can see through them and see the real world around me, which is important, right? It makes sense that you have this ability. And then I have that screen rendered in front of me. But what I do is I can simply clip on this plastic cover over these lenses, and then I go into VR mode where I lose the real world around me, but I continue to see this 100-inch screen in front of me, which is fantastic, right? Really, really cool. The most interesting thing, and the reason I pulled them in here, much like Mojo Vision, they are definitely future focused. The Nreal Air glasses actually plug directly into a car, and all the passenger seats, not in the driver's seat, plug directly into Neo cars in South Korea. And what they allow you to do is take your entertainment center from your vehicle and put it in the real world around you. So now I plug in my USB-C into the center console, I put this headset on, and then I'm able to have an experience where I'm wearing this headset, I'm watching my own movie, my own entertainment, and it is actually motion stabilized to the bounce of the car as it drives. That's the really interesting thing, is right, this headset now through an add-on right here that goes into the car, it'll image stabilize as I drive around, which is really, really cool. So it reduces that potential of digital sickness or motion sickness, depending on who you ask. So when you think of organizations that are really pushing the boundary when it comes to AR and VR, these two augmented reality glasses and tools, Mojo Vision and Nreal, have a really interesting place in the market. Mojo Vision is obviously looking at a 5-year plus implementation plan for an ocular device, right? A contact lens that fits on your eye and changes the heads up display slash real world around you with digital information. But Nreal is obviously going a little bit closer to market with a set of glasses that you can plug into your own personal device or a computer and have an experience. Nreal glasses are out in the market right now. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're like 400 or sub $400, and you can have a really nice experience. And this is not their first soiree into headsets. So this is their direct to consumer device, Nreal Air. That's N, capital N R E A L, and then Air if you were looking for it. So we just wanted to highlight two different augmented reality glasses on the market. We're going to move closer to this heavier weight interactive headsets that are coming out, but wanted to give you guys a quick overview this morning on these two devices. So thanks for popping into the stream. Make sure you check out the socials below. They are definitely worthwhile. I'm putting out as much content I can so you could be a thought leader just like I can be. So follow the socials, connect, comment, share. If you have questions, don't be afraid to reach out. Again, this is Rob Petrosino. I run the Synth Reality podcast. I'm a futurist, a technologist, and always looking for comments about new tech. So reach out. I will talk to you on the other side.